I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and I really wasn't trying to get deep with the conversation, and I really wasn't intending to be so analytical. But once my friend brought up this certain point, it made me look at social media in a completely different way. And it made me realize that social media is actually altering our reality. And it's constantly rebaselining people's expectations in themselves and in other people. My friend said, he said, back in the days, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, there were regional styles, there were regional slangs. If you went to the Bay Area in California, they used a certain level of slang. They had a certain level of dress that was unique from any part of the country. If you went to LA, they had a style of dress and a style of slang that was unique from any part of the country. If you went to Texas, they had their own unique slang and they had their own unique way of dress. If you went to New York, same thing. If you went to Virginia, the same thing. If you went to Chicago, same thing. People, and I'm using the hip hop community as an example, but this phenomenon has affected the entirety of humanity. But there was a point in time when New Orleans, Louisiana, you could spot somebody from New Orleans, Louisiana, without them even saying a word, without even hearing their accent, because they had a mouthful of gold teeth. They had Jabrodes, which is a brand of jeans, and they wore Reebok. You know, just like Cash Money, the Hot Boys used to always glorify Jabrodes, and Rees. That was their thing. But now in 2021, everybody's pretty much the same. Everybody's indistinguishable. It's hard to look at somebody physically and assume where they're from in the country, you know, because there's no such thing as regional style anymore. Everything is kind of morphed together and everything is pretty much one and the same. And this is obviously because of social media. You know, it's because people on social media are constantly watching people. They're not only watching people in their own city, their own friendship circle, they're watching people in other places, in other towns, in other states. You know, now that social media has become so integral in our social lives, it's possible to be a voyeur or visitor or observer into the lives of pretty much anybody. You know, at first it started off as, okay, now that social media is getting a little bit more evolved, we're able to uh, be more involved in celebrities' lives. We can look and see what they're doing. We can see them in their personal time. You know, no longer are we restricted to just see celebrities on television, interviews on network TV, or in videos and stuff like that. We can see them in their own environment being themselves. And now it's to a point where you can see regular people. You know, you can go on Instagram, you can go on Facebook, Twitter, and you can pretty much dig around and you can find just regular non-celebrity people on those social networks and dig into their lives. And with the hip hop community, the urban community, the black community, social media has caused everybody to pretty much blend in together and become the same culture. You know, like for example, in 2021, foreign clothes, European clothes are the peak. If you're cool, you wear uh, V-Lone, even though that's not European. That was made by some guy who lives here in America. But Off-White, Gucci, all of these different European brands, the rappers have pretty much set the standard that if you're cool, if you're in the in crowd, this is what you wear. And now everybody's wearing those clothes, Whereas back in the 90s and the early 2000s, the rappers, they glorified their regional dress. The rappers from New Orleans would rap about wearing Reeboks and Jabrodes. The rappers from LA would rap about wearing Dickie suits, house shoes, Chuck Taylors. The rappers from New York would brag about wearing, Timbs. Uh, in DC, the rappers would brag about wearing New Balances, and so forth and so forth. But now, it's like all of that originality is gone, and everybody is chasing the same template. It's as if they got this cookie cutter, and they made the original copy, and it's as if everybody in the black community is trying their best to imitate and mimic this copy. It's like everybody is pretty much begging, please put me in the cookie cutter next. I want to come out looking exactly like that copy. And I just think it's odd. I think it's very odd. Everybody looks exactly the same. Everybody wears the same clothes. Everybody's interested in the same things. Everybody's interested in the same cars. All the music sounds alike. It's getting to a point where cities no longer have originality. It's like social media is constantly rebasing the expectations of people. People check out social media, and whatever they see the most, whatever they see the cool people doing the most, whatever's trending the most, whatever appears the most, okay, that's what I got to do. It's no longer about, okay, I'm a unique individual. I live in a unique individual place. I'm not like people from over there because we have totally different experiences in life. Therefore, we're attracted to totally different things in life. Now it's okay, let me get on social media and check out to see what's cool because I want to be like everybody else. And I can't find the intellectual language, the psychological, sociological, social dynamics, that kind of thing. I can't really find the language to use to properly explain this in an intelligent context. But basically, what I'm trying to say is social media, and like I said, I'm using the black community as an example, is corrupting people because it's in control of people's expectations. And that's why I don't use social media at all. The last time I've been on social media was about 4 to 5 months ago. I haven't logged on since. The only thing that I do use is YouTube, and I consider that to be a little bit different from the other social media platforms because it's not constantly promoting this singular vision to me. It's not constantly trying to place me in this cookie cutter. I'm able to, use my own free will to find the information that I want to find. It's like I'm not being pressed or forced to fit this construct. And I suggest that you guys do the same. It's like the more time people spend on social media, the more blended they become with everybody else. It's like the more time you spend on social media, the more uniqueness you lose. And eventually, if you get to a point where you start using social media a lot, then you cease to become the individual, unique version of yourself, and you become an extension of the crowd. It's like you become part of the application. It's like you are the app. Social media is like this digital world that once you pay attention to it, it pulls you in and it turns you into one of its megabytes. It turns you into one of its pixels. It's like this demonic device that corrupts who you are as an individual. And I think it's pretty obvious if you just focus on the young people in the black community. They all look the same. If you could somehow get everybody in the black community from the age of 14 to 30 and line them up one after another, I guarantee same shoes, same jeans, same shirts, same everything, same brands, same walk, same talk. and and I don't think it's good for any sort of platform to have that level of control over people, to the point where it can actually influence or control and manipulate who you are as a person and how you express yourself. Peace.